was like a video game. It was like whatever I put down, he was just going to locate, and it was a ton of fun. Working with that guy is some of the most fun I have behind the plate.
Credit my success to just all about preparation. It's about preparing to get into the game, hour and a half before, stretch, and just mentally prepare yourself. You got to be ready for any sort of situation. You got to know kind of what pitch you need to throw in what situation, and you just got to stay locked in with your catcher. And Mitch and I had a great game today.
Do you want to hear more great interview sound clips like that from Mitch Fleming and Nolan Sparks? Well, there's one way to do it, and that's to stay tuned in on this edition of the official Batavia Muckdogs Postgame Show, and it starts right now. Wow, are your Batavia Muckdogs on fire or what? Especially at home, they continue to rack up the victories, and they are now a very impressive 14-5 on the season, coming off this thrilling 6-1 dominant victory over Elmira. Hello, everybody, and thank you for tuning into this edition of the Batavia Muckdogs Postgame Show, as your Muckdogs win it tonight 6-1 between 2 runs in the second, 4 runs in the third. But really, the story of this game was Nolan Sparks. He was tremendous over 7 innings, and after having a run first inning where he gave up his only run, after that, he just absolutely settled in and dominated. And the big thing for him is not only did he just give up the 1 run, he now has only given up 1 earned run in his first 5 starts of the season. That's right, the whole season, just 1 earned run. He has been absolutely an ace for sure, and he continues to be outstanding on the mound. Let's take a look at the highlights of how they got it done. As always, these game highlights proudly presented to you by the Batavia Muckdogs Baseball Network.
Two down, runner remains on second, and here is Johnny Wall, the third baseman, taking in right side of the plate. Sparks coming set, ready to go, and the pitch is swung on, whacked into right center field. So that is going to be a base hit. Mandler is going to come around to score standing up as the throw comes into second base. It's a 2-out RBI single, and for Nolan Sparks, that's the first earned run he's given up all season. And in the top of the first inning, Elmira strikes first. They lead it 1-0 over your Muckdogs. Coletta ready to go, infield in for Elmira, and that pitch swung on. This should get a run home. Deep to center, it's drilled. Going back and making the catch, the center fielder. Going home and scoring, standing up easily is Leadham, and moving up to third there as the throw was offline to third base bag was Reinhardt. It's a sacrifice fly for Daniel Burway, and in the bottom of the second, Batavia evens it up. We are tied at 1 with Elmira and Batavia. So that's RBI number 13 on the year for the Muckdog left fielder, and give him a lot of credit. Fastball right over the heart of the plate, did exactly what he needed to do. Deep drive to center, score, and now they take the lead! Base hit to left field! And that's off the bat of Mitch Fleming. Crossing the plate is Reinhardt, and just like that, Batavia ties it up. And 1 pitch later, they take the lead on a ribby single to left field by Fleming. Bottom of the second, Batavia 2, Elmira 1.
And that's the resiliency that you just heard in those highlights to make it 2-1 after falling behind early 1-0. Just great at bats, and then Burway just putting the ball in play for the sac fly, and then Mitch Fleming following up on the heels of that with a big RBI single. However, they were far from being done there, as Batavia, as we got to the bottom of the third, was still looking for insurance, and boy, did they get some in a big way thanks to a big 4-run rally.
And Fry fists that off into left center, drops for a base hit to left center. That ball keeps rolling. Caleb Rodriguez scores easily. Fry gonna run all the way to second with a stand-up. 1 out, 2-bagger and an RBI. And in the bottom of the third, Batavia extends their lead. It's your Muckdogs 3, and Elmira 1. It'll be a 2-1 in from Coletta, and that is smoked into right field, and that gets down for a one-out base knock. Brian Fry, come on down to score, and that's exactly what he does. Crosses the plate, RBI single to first for Tyler Canoe as he drilled that ball in the right field, and in the bottom of the third inning, Batavia opening it up. It's the Muckdogs 4 and the Pioneers 1. It'll be a 1-2. Swung on, hit high in the air, could be trouble. Down the left field line, and it's going to fall. It's a fair ball. Goes to the left field corner. So Canoe comes trotting in. He scores. Moving up to third is Leadham, and Batavia celebrate. Your very own Jerry Reinhardt has a ribby double, and in the bottom of the third, Batavia breaking it wide open, busting open the floodgates. It's the Muckdogs 5 and Elmira 1. Here comes the no-ball, two-strike pitch. Swung out, and that is smoked in the air to left, but left fielder underneath it might get the run home. It will get the run home as the left fielder just threw it into the shortstop. So coming across and scoring that time, it's Leadham. A sac fly that time, and a big one off the bat of Corso. 2 outs here in the inning, and Batavia now up 6-1. It's a 4-run inning, and they're still looking for more.
And really, after those 6 unanswered runs by your Muckdogs, Nolan Sparks was just brilliant throughout the game. He went 7 strong, took it, ran with it, then turned it over to the bullpen. And in the 9th inning, with Batavia up by 5 in firm command, 1 out away from snapping the 1-game home losing streak, it was a huge opportunity to get back on the winning track, and the opposing batter was Bobby Marsh.
The set, the pitch, swung out and missed. There it is. There's your ball game, Batavia. Your Muckdogs. The 1-game losing streak at home is over. They've now won 2 in a row, 14-5, a high water mark, 9 games above 500. And your final score here tonight, Batavia 6, Elmira 1.
And indeed, they win again at home, 6-1, defending their home turf. And they have been talking about that as a key all season. And again, you got big offensive production from Mitch Fleming. You got Jerry Reinhardt with an RBI double. But there are a lot of players that are RBIs in this game, and they really spread it up and down the lineup. It wasn't just Tyler Canoe or some of the big boys. It was everybody contributing tonight and spreading the wealth, which is always good to see, supporting Nolan Sparks. And with that, let's hear what some of the players in Skip had to say about it on these interviews in the tour of the clubhouse, proudly presented to you by the Batavia Muckdogs Baseball Network.
Here with catcher Mitch Fleming, who had the game-winning RBI hit in the bottom of the third tonight as part of bottom of the second inning, part of the 6-1 win here tonight. And first, Mitch, we got to talk about your battery mate over 7 innings, Nolan Sparks. What'd you think of him tonight?
Yeah, he was lights out all night. He was locating 3 pitches for command, and his velo was really good. He was really keeping the batters off timing, and he was just locating really well. So it was a lot of fun to work with him.
So in the first inning, though, was really his only rough spot, if you want to say, of the game. First, what do you think allowed him to settle in? Did you have to say something to him, or what do you think allowed him to settle in after that first inning?
Yeah, so we kind of picked up a bunch of tendencies on what the hitters were trying to do and what they were sitting. So we were able to mix in and keep them off balance, and he really started locating his pitches on the corner. So the first inning, he gave up that hit, the ball just ran over the plate, and he put a good swing on it. But that's baseball, and he settled in, and we got the win, and that's all that matters.
And as far as a catcher, you know how good Nolan has been this whole season, only giving up 1 run. But as the catcher, as you're trying to work him through, and then you see him get on that roll, at that point, as his battery mate, what are you thinking as you call the rest of that game?
It was like a video game. It was whatever I put down, he was just going to locate, and it was a ton of fun. Working with that guy is some of the most fun I have behind the plate.
You had the game-winning RBI single, and again, it was a huge hit. Now, Daniel Burway had just tied the game with the big sacrifice fly, and then you step in and you go first pitch, fastball, and you whack it in the left field. When you come up in that spot, now it's 2 outs. It's a pressure spot. What are you telling yourself as a hitter right there?
I knew he was going fastballs in, so I was looking hard and just trying to keep my mind calm and get the job done, and thankfully we did. So it was just trying to keep myself calm and put a good swing on a pitch, and we did it. So.
And now you guys with this win, you guys are now almost at the halfway point. So you're 14-5. You're in second place in the division. This is much more than a small sample size. Where do you think this club is at overall, being 14-5, 19 games in?
This is just the beginning. I mean, we've won games where we've had to really scratch and claw to get it done. And that shows a lot of the character that we have in this clubhouse is everyone's here to win. It's not the normal summer ball where you're here to get reps and get yourself better. We genuinely have a care factor. We want to win baseball games. And that's coming from Skip. I mean, it's just a huge tip of the cap to him with the cultures he's brought here. And everyone's really clicking well, and I think we're just getting hotter.
And speaking of being home in the environment and the culture, you guys have only lost 3 times at home. What do you think it is about playing here at Dwyer that just brings out the best in you guys?
It's the fans. I mean, they care so much about us as people. I mean, it's not even the players, like not even about us being baseball players. Like, they genuinely care how we are as people, and I think that makes a huge difference. Like, we want to put on a show and win games for them because it's bigger than just us, because they take care of us with food, they cheer for us. They do all sorts of stuff for us, and so it's just us giving back as much as we can.
And, you know, this offense has been very consistent all season, and the pitching really has gotten going as of late. As a catcher who works with all the different pitchers, do you take pride when you see your pitchers go out there and starting to perform, especially the way Nolan did tonight? As a catcher, do you take pride in that?
Absolutely. I mean, we work hard with them in the bullpen on their different pitches and what they can think mentally for their cues, and it's really great to see guys really fall in and get comfortable and start to perform. I mean, it's just a blast to work with them. I mean, everyone's so nice and competitive in this clubhouse. It's cool to see everyone grinding together for the objective of the team.
And now you get another win against a divisional opponent in Elmira. And last thing here, Mitch, as far as doing well and doing damage against divisional opponents, how big do you think that is, especially as we start to get close to July and down the home stretch?
I think it's huge. One of the big things Skip told us before, like in the first week we got here, is he said, you can't win it all in the beginning, but you can lose it all. So we've put ourselves in a really good spot going into July so we can get down this last month of the season and really put ourselves in good position for playoffs and hopefully bring back a ring to Batavia, because that's the end goal.
Indeed it is. And on that note, Mitch, thank you so much. Congrats on the win tonight.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Here with the star of the night, Nolan Sparks, starting pitcher tonight, went 7 strong, shut down innings, giving up just 1 run, and was a big reason why your Batavia Muckdogs come out with a 6-1 victory. And Nolan, first, congrats on the win. What did you think of your stuff tonight? Biggest factors to why you were able to pretty much go out there and dominate?
I think everything was working for me. The changeup was like 50% of the time working, and that was good to have 3 pitches going into that game because first start of the season was against Elmira, so they know what I had, fastball, slider majority of the time. So it was good to mix pitches up, get them off balance, because I think some of them were guessing pitches, especially the first pitch of the count.
Now, your only real rough patch of the game at all came in the first inning. And but you were able to limit the damage and keep it to just 1 run. As a pitcher, as you're kind of battling through an inning like that, what are you telling yourself to just keep your team in the game?
Kind of telling myself to just kind of take a deep breath and settle back in, because they were getting cheap hits. 2 of those 3 hits in that first inning were little dink hits. We got really lucky on putting the barrel on the ball. So you just got to stay composed and make sure that you still locate your pitches, because it's those later batters that come up that might square something up if you make a mistake.
I was just speaking with your battery mate, Mitch, and he said calling you, especially as you got into your groove, it's like calling a video game. Some of the most fun was with you on the mound. And, what do you think? What do you credit your early success? I mean, you've only given up 1 earned run over your first 5 starts. What do you credit your success to?
Credit my success to just all about preparation. It's about preparing to get into the game, hour and a half before stretch, and just mentally prepare yourself. You got to be ready for any sort of situation. You got to know kind of what pitch you need to throw in what situation, and you just got to stay locked in with your catcher. And Mitch and I had a great game today.
And your battery mate, Mitch, came up with what turned out to be the game-winning RBI single in the bottom of the second. And obviously, as his battery mate, you see him come through there. What's going through your head?
Gotta love it. Mitch is just now hopefully starting the fire with his bat. Been itching for like a quality base hit, just smoking a ball, and that's what he did. And I hope there's more to come with that.
And, you go from 1-0 down, then your offense, they go to work. And in the second and third, they scored 2 and then 4, and they take control of the game that quickly. Are you amazed sometimes when you watch how quickly this offense can go from 0 to 100?
Not really, because I know the talent that we have, and I know all I need to do is put us in the game and just put up zeros, because I know our offense is going to score those runs because we got some talent up at the plate.
And, you guys as a whole have been turning around as far as the pitching staff. You guys now are 14-5, second in the division. Where do you think this club is at right now?
I think this club's at a good spot. We're coming off some tough losses to Newark and Watertown. We don't want to lose anymore. We got to strive to be the best team possible because we want to get in first place towards the end, especially going into the playoffs, because we want to win the whole thing.
And last thing here, Nolan, again, it was a big win tonight. You're taking care of business in the division. How important do you think that is now that we're getting almost towards July in the home stretch?
I think it's important to really take care of the division. I'm not sure how many out-of-division games we have left, but you got to keep the guys in the division just down. You got to beat them to the ground, because going into the end of July, you want them heads down, not ready to play you, because all you want to do is win, win, win going into the end.
And on that note, Nolan, thank you so much for the time. Congrats on the win. You were brilliant tonight.
Thank you.
Here with Skip Martinez following an enormous 6-1 win here tonight. And they just continue to keep rolling. And Skip, first, congrats on the win. But how good was Nolan tonight?
I mean, thank you. Nolan's just outstanding again tonight. The guy is, throws multiple pitches for strikes, commands the strike zone. And that's all you can ask for. He's been dominant so far this season.
And, in the first inning, he kind of labored, but then after that, he just settled in. What do you think it is about him that allows him to settle in and then get on the roll that he did?
Again, I think he has confidence in his pitches. He throws 3 pitches for strikes, and anytime you have a good mix like that, it makes it tough on hitters. And his velo was there today, too, so he was probably sitting 92, 93. His velo was there, and when he mixes up those other 2 pitches, he's pretty dominant.
And his battery mate tonight, Mitch, he ended up coming up with a game-winning hit. He's credited a lot of this team's success in speaking with him earlier about the culture that you set, and he really spoke highly of, the atmosphere you're creating. How good was it to see Mitch come through there and come up with what would be the game-winning RBI?
It's good to see Mitchie, he's a big part of what we do here. He's, what they call the dad of the team. He's kind of a leader. A lot of guys look up to him. So we all root for him. We pull for him. He's a big part of what we do here, and he definitely helps the culture as well. And we try to set it and keep the culture going, and that's a part of what we do here is making it a fun environment, a great environment, team, family environment, and Mitchie definitely contributes a lot to that.
And 14-5 now is your record on the season. You're getting near the halfway point. And as we get towards July, where do you think this club is after 19 games?
I think we're right where we need to be. I think we could still be better, which is kind of scary when you think about it. But I think we could still be better. So I think we just got to keep my thing is, these guys gotta, what I preach to these guys is we have to come back out here and get better every day and continue to grind every day and continue to put our work in and, play the baseball that we got to control the controllables and play our game. And when we do that, we always get good results. And so we just got to keep that going and just continue to get better because it's still a long season, a lot of games. And you know, our goal is just to maintain what we're doing and hopefully get better at it.
And as far as the offense goes, you know, you start out down 1-0, but Nolan makes big pitches to get out of that jam. And then all of a sudden in the second and third, you guys score 6 unanswered. Yeah. What's it like to watch this offense go from 0 to 100 in like a blink of an eye?
Yeah, I've watched it so far in this part of the season, you know, this far into the season. And, you know, sometimes I think to myself, man, these guys can swing it. And when they put it together like that, it usually comes in bunches, you know, and it's contagious. Again, I credit the hitters on this team with relentless at bats. You know, it's like the whole Yankee adage: they're savages in the box, man. They just continue to grind out at bats, man. They keep, you know, they'll fight off three. You see guys. I've seen so many guys go from 1-2, 0-2 counts to like full counts, and I see that a lot. And that makes me happy because these guys are just fighting and grinding at bats. And there's very few at bats that we give up, and that's a really good sign for a ball club.
And you're able to get Abner Benitez back when initially it didn't seem like you might be able to get him back. What's it like to have him back in this clubhouse?
You know, we lose Mikey DeStefano to some injuries. Well, you know, it wasn't injured. It just kind of, you know, he's a little beat up, and that was a big part of what we did here. Mikey was a big contributor. We're going to miss him. So, you know, I just got on a phone call and said, I need you here. And, you know, he wanted to come back, and we made it happen. And he understands the culture here. He's a returner. I think picking up that lefty bat is huge for us at this point of the season.
And final thing here, Skip, your team, again, 14-5, they keep winning here at Dwyer, and you keep taking care of divisional opponents. You got another big win here tonight, and how important do you think that is as we hit the home stretch as we're getting close to July?
Man, winning at home is always good. You got to defend your turf, and you know when you come to the dog pound, we got to make you pay for it. But our guys are playing really well, you know, home and away. We just, you know, it's good to see that, especially if we can get a home field advantage. If we make it that far to the playoffs, getting a home field advantage is great. And you know, this team is just, I'm proud of what these guys have done, and I'm looking forward for them to get better and continue doing what we're doing.
And on that note, Coach, congrats on the win and this very good start to the season. Congrats.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Go Dogs.
And just based on those interviews alone, you can tell just how good and confident that this team is. And the amazing thing is they all still believe they have a lot of room for improvement, even at 14-5. That's pretty scary given how good they've gotten off to a start this season. And they're second in the PGCBL West Division. Now, before we sign off, just want to give you a tour around the league. Geneva beating Niagara 1-0. They actually swept a doubleheader from the Power, beating them in Game 1 by a final count of 1-0, and in the second game by a count of 9-1. And those Utica Blue Sox, they just keep winning as they enter tonight with a 16-3 record. They sweep a doubleheader of Boonville, beating them 9-2, and then 10-0. Newark all over Jamestown 12-2. It was Saugerties taking out Glen Falls by a final count of 8-3. Auburn over Mohawk 11-5. And Oneonta holding on for a 5-2 win against Amsterdam. And so with that, that's going to wrap it up for this edition of the Batavia Muckdogs official postgame show. Our next broadcast coming to you, and that's coming up pretty soon, in a couple of days from now, as they get set to take on Erie Buffalo, and that's going to be this Friday night, part of Fireworks Night at Dwyer Stadium. So for everybody here at Dwyer, I'm John Kruba. Again, your final score tonight, it was your Batavia Muckdogs taking down their downstate rival Elmira Pioneers by a final count of 6-1. Thank you for listening, and we will see you next time, everybody. Have a great night. For listening to today's presentation of Batavia Muckdogs Baseball and this edition of the Batavia Muckdogs Postgame Show. Tune into the next exciting telecast to catch everything exciting with your Muckdogs on the Batavia Muckdogs Baseball Network.